Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I've been asked to play this again. It's called Enter the Haggis. No, it's called not that. It's called No More Stones by Enter the Haggis.
Against the fringe, you live beyond the fence. Victims of the circumstance, riders of our fame. We're proud enough to cast a stone, but not enough to lose our homes. And now it's done, we haven't shown the things that would stand. Should've stopped and think about it, would've brought the mind right out. So we decide the world and shouted at us to our face. Would we even listen then? I could we only see the damage when the dust is settled and we found this other waste. Oh, when that's blown, one to one, else nothing to show. Sweet song, time to go. No more stones to throw. Hey ho, when that's blown, one to one, else nothing to show. Sweet song, time to go. No more stones, no more stones to throw. But no one's ever going for. I'm knocking on my neighbor's door, alas to no reply. Now it's time to live in peace, but no one's here to live with me. I should have learned a harmony before it was time. Situation took a hold of common sense and wouldn't go. Although I know I should have known the error of our ways. All alone at dinner time with no one left to drink the wine, as I propose a toast to every family that paid. Oh, the wind that's blown, one to one, now there's nothing to show. Sweet song, time to go. No more stones to throw. Show. See it's so time to go. No more stones, no more stones to throw. Beyond the fence, victims of a circumstance, riders of our fate. Proud enough to cast a stone, but not enough to lose our homes. And now it's done, we haven't shown us what was at stake. Hey, oh, wind that's blown, one to one, now there's nothing to show. Sweet song, time to go, no more stones to throw. Hey, oh, wind that's blown, one to one, now there's nothing to show. Sweet song, time to go, no more stones. No more stones to throw.
Right, that's a band called Enter the Haggis, and that's a track called No More Stones to Throw, apparently. Good morning, Gerald Michael Anderson here. The number to ring if you want to contact this programme is 08459 555 678. You have to excuse my voice, I've got a little kind of a lurgy, I don't know, I've got a sore throat, but I'm all right. Pain is nothing to me. I'm never without a pain. The email address is gerry.anderson@bbc.co.uk, and the text messaging service is 81771. Now, I'm just looking at the newspapers today. I see that apparently a piece of research has determined that Protestants live 1 year longer than Catholics in Northern Ireland, but suspicion is that it just seems that way. Also, the levels of your voice, as Bill Barr said, the levels of your voice compared to others on the show has improved drastically since Christmas. Has a new dynamic range microphone been installed? Well, I don't know. Or, as I suggested, has the BBC sprung for automatic level control, known locally as ALC, which should be part of every modern studio? Enjoy the programme, keep her lit until we get out, and we get our number from the big man. Regards, Bill Barr. Thank you, Bill. Young lady, Jenny Ray is with me. Jenny, how are you?
I'm not too bad, Gerry. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Now, you're heavily involved in a project called Stargazing Live. Tell me about that.
That's right. Well, Stargazing Live, the TV series, starts up on Monday.
Yeah.
So that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week on BBC Two. But here at BBC Learning, we have some very exciting events happening in Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, the first big one is in Derry.
Yeah, good. And there's only about, 6 or 8 spots picked throughout the UK.
That's right, yeah. We're one of 8 have been chosen across the UK, and it's because we have a big screen up there, and this is a new big screen in Derry at Waterloo Place.
Yeah.
So we're very lucky to be chosen for the area to have a big stargazing event.
Yeah. So what exactly will happen tomorrow?
Okay, well, it's at lunchtime tomorrow, and you may think that's a strange time to have a stargazing event because there's not really that many stars out at lunchtime, so there's not, maybe in Derry, I'm not sure. But tomorrow at lunchtime, we will have, at 1 o'clock, there will be a live feed from the Falks Telescope in Hawaii. So you will see some stars there, and our whole event starts at 12 o'clock, and we'll have a marquee with various astronomy people, partners in there doing very exciting things with huge telescopes, which will be interesting in itself because you can go and have a look at a massive telescope, and they'll have solar filters on their telescope so you can have a look through, and you'll see the sun, which is something interesting to do during the day if you want to start.
As long as we're not blinded.
Yes, hopefully. Well, I don't think anyone will be blinded. It'll be very well safety checked.
It's a whole interactive thing, isn't it, really, tomorrow?
Yes. What I should say, probably the most exciting thing that's happening tomorrow is that we have you as a compere, Gerry.
It's very exciting, yes.
And hopefully you will help out with the interactive part of it. There's a game, and you'll be able to go and see yourself on the screen and ask any burning questions about astronomy and the stars and get answers from the experts. And then there are smartphone apps which will be demonstrated, and we'll maybe get you to have a wee go at demonstrating that to us. So
My fingers will be a blur as they fly across the machinery.
yes, well, you will be an expert by the end of the day, hopefully, and anyone coming along who takes part will get some very exciting free resources. We have star guides and moon guides and little things that show you how to make solar systems out of loo rolls and tell you all about the planets. So it's something for everyone. And
So everybody's encouraged to come down tomorrow. What time is the best time to come down at? What's the earliest people can come down?
any time from 12 o'clock, and we'll be there until about 4. The BBC bus will be there too, and we have stormtroopers walking through the city, and if you want to get a photograph taken, you want to, hopefully they will not exterminate anybody. And so it should just be a really great day for everything stargazing.
Okay, that's 12 o'clock tomorrow in Waterloo Place, Derry Stoke London Derry. Come down. It's on to about 4 o'clock, something like
Till
that.
about 4 o'clock, and it's free, and as I say, all the resources are free as well.
What's the weather going to be like tomorrow? Did you check it out?
I'm afraid to look because it's quite cold today, so I think it's going to be very cold.
Oh, people can wear jumpers.
Yeah, put your thermals on.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to that tomorrow, Jenny. I hope we get a big crowd. I'm sure we will.
Well, if you're going to be there, I think we will get a big crowd, Gerry.
I'm a big attraction.
You are, and that's why we got you.
Okay, thanks, Jenny.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Many requests for this?
Blind man begging for a little crust of bread. Rich lady wondering what the undertaker said. Cell phones ringing in the pockets of the dead. Cell phones ringing in the pockets of the dead. Hey! Just looking for the hands of Father Time. He's got him reaching for the girl in number 9. She's reading horoscopes, looking for a sign, waiting for the train that'll take her down the line. Hey! Hey, hey, hey! Cell phones ringing in the middle of the street. History's telling stories that a sailor won't repeat. Believers and infidels are fighting in the heat, while bodies of the innocent are covered with a sheet. Hey, hey! reach and help the fellow man. While senators and congressmen are working on a plan to get some more vacation time to get a deeper tan. Hey! Hey, hey, hey! Sheena's in the jungle trying hard to keep it real. The doctor's in the alehouse trying to cop a feel. The Count of Monte Cristo wants to make another deal. Dracula's in the kitchen and he's looking for a meal. Hey! Hey, hey, hey! I said hey! Hey, hey, hey! Everybody's looking for what they cannot find. I'm down here on Bleecker Street trying to read your mind. Aristotle's riding on a ferry boat to Mars, while Juliet is creeping through the closets of the stars. Romeo is on the run, smoking blue cigars, putting cocoa butter on the cover of the scars. Maggie May and Captain Hook are walking down the aisle. The president saunters in astride a crocodile. The Ayatollah swears he is not a pedophile, and the rights of man don't mean a damn here in the age of style. Hey, hey! Hey, hey, hey! I said hey! Hey, hey, hey! Cell phones ringing in the pockets of the dead. Cell phones ringing in the pockets of the dead. Cell phones ringing in the pockets of the dead. Cell phones ringing in the pockets of the dead. Hello? Hello? Is anybody there? I said hey! Hey, hey, hey! I said hey! Hey, hey, hey! Cell phones ringing in the pockets of the dead. Cell phones ringing in the pockets of the dead. Cell phones ringing in the pockets of the
That's Willie Nile. That's a song called Cell Phones Ringing in the Pockets of the Dead. We're spoiled for choice today because later on today we're going to have what we would call possibly a seasoned presenter, which will be, excuse me, Bob Kennedy's coming. Sorry about that, I've got a wee thing. Bob Kennedy's coming in, but a young lady starting off her career is with me today, Morgan McIntyre. Hello, Morgan, how are you?
Hi, Gerry. How are you?
Well, you're no stranger to the BBC because your dad is Darren McIntyre and your uncle is Donald McIntyre, for God's sake.
That's true, yeah.
Have you've been in here a couple of times? I've never seen you before, but I'm sure you've been in here once or twice.
I've been in here before, yeah.
Well, tell me about yourself. You're not exactly a seasoned performer. What are you, 18, 19? Something
19.
Yeah.
19, yeah.
And you've been singing for a little while, and I've heard your stuff, and it's great, and you're a songwriter as well. And
Yeah.
do you actually, I mean, are you doing gigs, or what do you do?
I actually well, I haven't been doing so many gigs recently because I'm in Dublin studying, so I've been trying to focus on college and things like that. But in the next month, I've got one in the Black Box on the 22nd
Yes.
of January, so that's good. And then I've got one in Dublin on the 30th in the Workman's Club.
Uh-huh.
And then I've just got some great news. I'm supporting Joan Armour Trading in the Opera House in September. So yeah. So it kind of like everything's starting from now, basically. So
that'd be fantastic.
yeah, I'm laying the groundwork.
Would you be a fan of Joan Armour Trading?
Oh yes, definitely. Gosh, yes, of course.
Well,
yeah.
how long have you been singing?
Well, I've actually been singing most of my life. Just the kids sing all the time, and then just keep singing, and then I got lessons and that kind of thing. But I started writing songs when I was a wee kid. Everyone was just making up songs, and then at one point everyone grew out of it, and I just kept kind of going in secret. And then once I just got the confidence to tell my friends about them, and then it kind of went from there.
All right then. Well, you've got Cormac O'Kane on
Yeah.
piano with you, and Keith Law.
Yeah, both
going to
great.
play guitar. What would you like to do?
I would like to do How About Mexico.
And this is your song?
Yes, it is.
Okay, off you go. Morgan McIntyre.
Grass at our backs, stars at our faces, one list for dreams and another for the places we would go. Oh, and number one was Mexico. Oh, grass at our backs, eyes to the night, limbs used as blankets and stars. Where I lied, we were satisfied. Did you feel it when we died? Now our hands barely touch, once close so far. Eyes that knew mine well now staring out the window of our car. Roads full of silence and words never said. A long list of places remain in my head. We're going down, 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 slow, slow. How about Mexico? Oh. Grass at our back, stars at our faces, one list for dreams and another for places we'd go. Number one was Mexico. Grass at our back, stars at our faces, one list for dreams and another for places we'd go. Number one was Mexico. Bought myself a map and I drew out some plans. If Mexico can't save us, I'm sure nothing can. Head for the sun and the brighter day. If you won't come, you're free to stay, stay and never know. Oh, what it's like in Mexico. Oh, grass at our back, stars at our faces, one list for dreams and another for places we'd go. Number one was Mexico. Grass at our back, stars at our faces, one list for dreams and another for places we'd go. Number one was Mexico. I sang your name in a carnival show. I carved your name on a train bound for Mexico. Grass at our back, stars at our faces, one list for dreams and another for the places we would go. Oh, oh, number one was Mexico. Oh, number one was Mexico.
That was just great. That was just great. Are you okay?
Yeah.
You cough? No, that was really great. That's remarkably sophisticated singing and writing for someone so young.
Thank you.
That's really, really good.
Well, I think it comes from, I do a lot of it, so that's like, I write loads and loads and loads, so sometimes it's really good, but there's a load of rubbish as well. So.
Oh, no, but that's you're way ahead of the game here. I know I've heard that on record, but I don't know if that's available. I mean,
it is, yes.
Is it really? Well, tell me how that can be done.
Well, I'm very bad at technology, but in the last kind of month, I set up my own Bandcamp page,
yes.
So people can go into www.morganmcintyre.bandcamp.com and you can buy all the recorded songs there.
A wee bit slower now.
Okay. www.morganmcintyre.bandcamp.com.
Okay.
And you can buy the songs for 50p each.
Mm-hmm. Now, people do that. I mean, how much importance do you attach to getting what they used to call a deal? Is that important anymore?
Well, I don't really know how the music industry works at the moment because there used to be a set kind of way to the top. Now everyone can kind of do whatever they want. You can distribute music however you like. So basically what I want is for people to hear the music. I don't care how. I just give it out for free. You can listen for free on SoundCloud, so that's good. But
tell me what SoundCloud is, just for the benefit of
SoundCloud is it's just a website, and you can upload all your songs. Anyone can upload any songs onto it, and you have your little account, so someone can search Morgan McIntyre, and then all my songs are there, and you just play them off the internet.
So it wouldn't be a kind of a priority for you. I mean, you're not kind of waiting to be discovered type of thing, the way people used to be years ago.
No,
Remember,
yeah.
people used to wait to be discovered, and then
Well, that would be great, but I don't know if that will happen. I just kind of keep playing and get the music out there for as many people as possible, and then hopefully one thing will lead to another, and
yeah, right.
it's just about letting people hear the music, really.
I think you've incredible potential.
Oh, thank
to
you.
be honest with you, and I know you'll go from strength to strength. When are you going to be supporting Joan Armatrading? Do you have a date for that?
Yeah, it's 23rd of September.
Oh, that'll be
It's a
great.
way off.
That's a way off, but
Yeah.
that'll be one to look forward to. And then, where did you say you're going to be on the 22nd of January?
The Black Box. It's
Oh,
part
yeah.
of the Out to Lodge Cathedral Quarter
Oh,
Festival.
that'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are
That's
you
two.
playing with Keith and Cormac or
That's yet to be decided. I know I'm playing with Cormac, but Keith, hopefully. Yeah.
Available.
If they can play, that would be great.
you might have to pay them?
Yeah.
Well, listen, thank you so much for coming in.
Oh,
and
no problem, my
and
pleasure.
I would like you to come in again.
Oh, I'd love to.
And you know, whenever you've got something happening, by all means, come in again
Yeah.
and a wee bit, maybe sing another 2 or 3 songs. Would you mind doing that?
I would love
Maybe
to.
in a month or so,
Yeah.
whenever you feel like it, because you're so good.
Oh, thanks.
Are you going to? Will you do one more for us?
I will, of course.
What's this?
This is a new song, so it's not recorded or anything. It's called Over You. And yeah, I just wrote it like a couple of weeks ago. So
Thank you for coming in,
Oh, no problem.
Morgan McIntyre. Thank you to
Thank
Keith
you.
Law and Cormac O'Kane.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go your way and I'll go mine. I told you, darling, I'm fine, I'm over you. That's the story I'm sticking to. Don't you blush and don't be shy. I promise that I would not cry. I'm over you. That's the story I'm sticking to. So go ahead, kiss those other girls. I know there's a big bad world in front of you. What else would a young boy do? Oh, go ahead, kiss. Go ahead, flirt. But don't you look around to see if I look hurt. I'm over you. That's the story I'm sticking to. I got a new boy of my own, but looking at you, my, you grown, I'm over you. That's the story I'm sticking to. Well, I got a new boy, treats me well, and I'm so happy now. Can't you tell I'm over you? That's the story I'm sticking to. So go ahead, kiss those other girls. I know there's a big bad world in front of you. What else would a young boy do? Oh, go ahead, kiss. Go ahead, flirt. Don't you look around to see if I look hurt. I'm over you. That's the story I'm sticking to. But what if I'm not? And what if I lied? What if I'm miserable all of my life? I'm still over you. That's the story I'm sticking to. Oh, what if I'm not? And I just pretend. What if I think we can never be friends? I'm over you. That's the story I'm sticking to. So go ahead, kiss those other girls. I know there's a big bad world in front of you. What else would a young boy do? I look hurt, I'm over you. That's the story I'm sticking to.
That was Morgan McIntyre. This is Gerry McIntyre. We'll be back after the news with Wendy Austin.
On 92 to 95 FM
and 1341 medium wave.
This is BBC Radio Ulster.
It's 11 o'clock and with the BBC News, this is Keith Burnside. 5 people are now being questioned about the murder of Philip Strickland near Cumber on Wednesday night. A man and a woman, both aged 19, were arrested last night. A father and his 2 sons were detained earlier in the day. Alex Salmond has accused Westminster of trying to bully Scotland over a referendum on independence. He was speaking ahead of the British-Irish summit in Dublin. The Deputy Prime Minister, Nick Clegg, will also be at the meeting. Mr Salmond says politicians at Westminster cannot dictate to the Scottish people.
Sometimes Westminster politicians, and Nick Clegg, I'm afraid, is very much a Westminster politician, find it difficult to let go the strings of power and believe that they're still in a position of dictating terms to Scotland. I'm afraid Nick Clegg and his colleagues, David Cameron and George Osborne, who's very much in charge of this, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, are going to find out that these days are over.
The family of the murdered solicitor Pat Finucane has been granted a judicial review into the government's decision not to hold a full public inquiry into the killing. The hearing will take place in May. Detectives investigating the murder of an Oxford University lecturer say they still don't know how he died. Professor Stephen Rawlings died at the home of another academic with whom he'd written a book. He's been arrested on suspicion of murder. Ben Andu reports.
Shortly before midnight on Wednesday, police and emergency services were called to the home of mathematician Dr Devinder Sivia in the village of Southmore, southwest of Oxford. There they found the body of 50-year-old astrophysics professor Stephen Rawlings, who was declared dead at the scene. However, the post-mortem examination was inconclusive, and so far experts have been unable to say what killed him. Dr Sivia was arrested on suspicion of murder, but has not been charged.
The chief executive of Lloyds Bank has waived his annual bonus. He says his recent leave of absence for ill health had an impact on the bank and its shareholders. Now, the sport, here's Denise Watson.
It's a total sellout tonight at Ravenhill for Ulster's crucial Heineken Cup tie with Leicester. Ulster are currently top of Pool 4 on 14 points, with the Tigers trailing by 2 going into the match. We've live coverage on medium wave from 7:30. AC Milan say they've abandoned talks with Manchester City over a deal for Carlos Tevez. City still hope an agreement can be reached by the end of the month. Former England cricket captain Michael Vaughan has told the BBC of his fears that spot fixing is ongoing in the English game. In local football, Coleraine player Darren McCauley has been allowed to join Institute on loan until the end of the season. And Amir Khan's promoter says he's received written confirmation from the World Boxing Organisation as granting Khan an immediate rematch with Lamont Peterson.
On to the weather, and Angie Phillips has those details.
Dry with a good deal of sunshine for many at first today, and it should continue fairly sunny across parts of Down, Armagh and Antrim for much of daylight hours. If you're in the west, be prepared for increasing amounts of cloud during the afternoon, that cloud perhaps extending to mid-Ulster as well, and it'll feel chilly after the frosty start this morning with highs of 6 or 7 Celsius.
BBC News.
BBC Radio Ulster. Travel news.
Part of the Foyle Road in Londonderry is closed due to a possible collapse of the Hamilton shirt factory. This is causing major traffic disruption in Derry city centre, particularly on Fountain Hill as well as on the upper deck of the Craigavon Bridge. So drivers are being advised to use the Foyle Bridge where possible. Meanwhile, resurfacing continues on the Derry Lynn Road outside Enniskillen. It's closed until 6 o'clock this evening. Also, the Cullyhanna Road in Castleblaney is closed until 6 p.m, with traffic there being diverted onto the A29 Dundalk Road. And Jordan reporting.
Travel news on BBC Radio Ulster.
Factories are collapsing in Derry, Stoke Londonderry. It looks good for the future. Good morning, Wendy.
Gerry, how are you? We were wondering, actually, are Derry's walls falling down again? All those streets closed. We're asking them about that in the programme today.
Yeah.
And to give you time to recover there. It's possibly collapsing anyway. We're asking, what should happen to buildings that are left to rack and ruin? Because it's been mouldering there for donkey's years, hasn't it?
It's been sitting there for 30 years.
I know, and it's such a pity. I mean, I'm sure it was lovely at one stage.
I know, yeah.
I don't remember
Just
that.
goes to show you the vibrant commercial heart of the city.
Well, exactly. Yeah, and this is practically the first thing you see when you come across the bridge, isn't it?
That's right. Apart from the alcoholics.
You
Anyway,
suffering, pet?
Carry on.
Am I safe to be this close to you?
Well, a little closer and you could be in trouble. But I'm always like that.
Well, that's true too. We heard Alex Salmon there talking about Nick Clegg, and not in the most flattering terms. Well,
No.
we'll be asking the Deputy Prime Minister about the Scottish First Minister on Talkback. Also trying to find out if he's made it up with David Cameron after their EU veto row, and asking would he rather go to Belfast or Dublin for a stag weekend. We get all the really important questions in. Should have asked him, would he like to go to Derry instead? You ever been kept awake by a barking dog?
I have. Yes, I have.
Did you know that in Fermanagh it's one of the main causes of noise complaints, antisocial animals?
Antisocial animals?
But we're asking, how do you keep them quiet?
Right.
And from Groomsport to a galaxy far away. The County Down man who's about to become Northern Ireland's first space cadet. He's got a ticket to boldly go and all of that. Enough of the cliches. Anyway, he's going on that Virgin Galaxy thing. So we'll be talking to him. Yeah.
Where's he going to go?
Space.
Just to do it in orbit?
I think so, yeah.
Where else can you go? All right then. Well, good luck, Wendy. Thank you.
And you too. Hope you're feeling better soon.
No, I'm all right. It's the badness coming out.
I am Jeremiah Dixon, I am a Geordie boy. Glass of wine with you, sir, and the ladies I'll enjoy. Old Durham and Northumberland is measured up by my own hand. It was my fate from birth to make my mark upon the earth. He calls me Charlie Mason, stargazer am I. It seems that I was born to chart the evening sky. They'd cut me out for baking bread
but I had other dreams instead. This baker's boy from the West Country would join the Royal Society. We are sailing to Philadelphia, a world away from the coldy tide. Sailing to Philadelphia to draw the line, the Mason-Dixon line. Surveyor Dixon, but I swear you'll make me mad. The West will kill us both, you gullible Geordie lad. You talk of liberty, how can America be free? A Geordie and a baker's boy in the forests of the Iroquois.
Now hold your head up, Mason, see America lies there. The morning tide has raised the capes of Delaware. Come up and feel the sun, a new morning is begun. Another day will make it clear why your star should guide us here. Sailing to Philadelphia, a world away from the coldy tide. Sailing to Philadelphia to draw the line, the Mason-Dixon line, the Mason-Dixon line.
That's Beth Jeans Houghton, and that's, excuse me, it's a track called Sweet Tooth Bird. And before that, Beth Jeans Houghton is playing in Belfast very soon. And before that, we had Mark Knopfler singing a song called Sailing to Philadelphia. And Bob Kennedy will be singing live for us in a moment. And Mark Knopfler produced his new album and sings on it as well. Some messages here. Happy birthday to my twin sister, Lucia Beatty, from your twin sister, Irene. Gerry, we took the Toccata Choir to India last August, and we're going to audition again for some new members, and we're planning to go to Africa this year to work with street children and orphans. Gerry, can I come on your programme and have a chat with you? You certainly will. You certainly can. That's Dr. Sunil. We chatted to him before. And morning, Gerry, with G. Big Phil, the Fruiter's Ball, checking in. Well, good morning, Big Phil. Wendy's gone. Pat from Loughgall wants to know, will Wendy ask Gerry what he finds so attractive about beach volleyball? Well, I thought that was self-evident. Carol from Cumber, just to let you know, you don't sound yourself this morning. Well, I'm not well at all. Got a big bad throat, but I'm all right. I'm in no pain. But then again, I'm never without a pain. Morgan McIntyre, people like her. That girl can sing. I love her voice, says Nigel. And Gerry, I'm looking for 2 tickets for Jedward in the Armagh City Hotel tonight for my daughter. I will go anywhere to collect. That's Jackie. So anyone out there has got 2 tickets for Jedward and the Armagh City Hotel. Sounds like a complete nightmare, but there are some people who would die to get to it. Good morning, Gerry. Carol from Comber here. Would you tell my husband Richard to shut up? I'm trying to listen to the programme and he is yakking in my ear. You have to worry when he stops talking. And can you play something from Ryan Kelly? Fat Boy Nolan is slagging Chris Moyles about his age. Well, yeah, that's a rather fruitless occupation, I suppose. But then again, it keeps the fat boy happy. Jonathan Sims referenced yesterday, if Frank Mitchell can give parcel wrapping demonstrations on the radio, I don't see why you can't teach the listeners how to work the gears on a 2CV. See instructions below. Perhaps listeners should have a walking stick at the ready. Not that I'm suggesting your audience all own walking sticks. After reading these instructions, I reckon that any 2CV driver could have easily landed the Apollo lunar module, would have saved NASA a fortune training astronauts. Well, you see, there are people out there who don't know what a 2CV is. It's a small French car. They call it a deux-chevaux. And it was notoriously... This is how you change gears. It's like a gun. The gear stick is in the front of the dashboard and sticks out like a gun. The first gear is left and back. Second is straight forward from neutral, so forward, please, release, push from first. Third is straight back from neutral in second. Fourth is right and forward, so forward, push right, forward from third. Reverse is right and back, further right than to go into fourth, so you can't do it by mistake, and if you make a mistake, you'll wreck your gearbox. The handbrake is like an umbrella handle under the dash to the left of the steering wheel. To release it, you pull it slightly, press and hold the button, and push it all the way forward. To engage, you press and hold the button, pull up and release the button. Do not release and let go or engage without pressing the button, or you will die. Kind regards, Neil Armstrong. Thank you for that. That all comes back to me.
Like a bird on a wire, like a drunk in a midnight choir, I have tried in my way to be free. Like a fish on a hook, like a knight in some old-fashioned book, I have saved all my ribbons for thee. And if I have been unkind, I just hope you will let it go by. And if I have been untrue, I hope you know it was never to you. Like a baby stillborn, like a beast with his horn. I have torn everyone who reached out to me. But I swear by the song and by all that I have done wrong, I'll make it all up to thee. I saw a young man leaning on his wooden crutch. He called out to me, don't ask for so much. And a young woman leaning in her darkened door, she cried out to me, why not ask for more? Like a bird on a wire, like a drunk in a midnight choir, I have tried in my way to be free.
Bird on a Wire. Johnny Cash, Bird on a Wire. Bob Kennedy is here. Morning, Bob. How are
Good
you?
morning. How are you, Gerry? You're looking very svelte.
Smelt. Thanks for coming in. And Brenda is with you.
How are you, Gerry?
Morning, Brenda. How are you? And Gordy is there. Gordy, you're going to play guitar. Listen, you've got a new album out, which is fantastic. I've been playing it now this last week. It's called Sailor's Revenge.
Thank you very much.
And it's produced by Mark Knopfler.
Indeed.
What's your association with him?
Well, I've been doing quite a few tours with him over the last few years,
Yeah.
and we sort of come up with the idea of making a record about 3 or 4 years ago. And when the time was right, he was making a record at the time, and so was I. So a couple of years went past, and last year we went into the studio, and I'd been writing songs for about a year for the project, and I'd been letting him hear the songs, and we decided on what kind of record we wanted to make, and we picked out the best of what we thought would fit with the mood and the theme of the Sailor's Revenge, and made the record, and here we are.
Well, what's the theme of it, Sailor's Revenge? I mean, it's got a kind of an Irish feel to it, hasn't
Yeah,
it?
it's kind of a Celtic. Mark
More
is,
than anything you've done before, I think.
Yeah, well, Mark has got quite a Celtic side to him.
He has,
and he's been taking out a low whistle player and a fiddle player with him on tour, and so it's just one of those things where my last record was very Americana, and we kind of came together on this Celtic thing. You know, I mean, that's obviously part of my roots, and,
That's right,
and
yeah.
he's very much into it. So it just was one of those things that he really liked the Sailor's Revenge song. He thought it would be a great title for an album, and it kind of lent itself to the idea of doing an Irish Celtic moody kind of record.
There's that Shim na Vale is lovely. Shim na Vale, sorry, that's beautiful. And Celtic Sea. That's really, really nice. It's kind of a wee bit, not like, but I mean, I know you spent a lot of time with Van.
Yeah.
But Van, he kind of went through that kind of phase as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
That kind of, remember the Caledonian, that kind of thing?
Yeah, Caledonian soul phase. Yeah, well, it's
more of an Ulster Scots thing, I suppose.
It's in your blood, you know what I mean? It's in your blood. If you're from the north of Ireland, you've got that thing. Obviously it's gone to America, and then it's come back and come back over again. So
That's right.
It's like ping pong, really, isn't it?
Yeah, but Van went down that kind of Caledonia road, that kind of Ulster Scots way, isn't it? And it's Celtic, but it's a different thing, isn't it? It's kind of different. It's a different feel to it.
Well, it's my thing, isn't it? It's my Celtic thing.
Well, do you want to do something for us? Or it doesn't matter if it doesn't have to be off the album. Do whatever you like.
Okay, well,
By
I'll
all
play a
means.
new song off the record, but do you mind if we ease into the day? Not
Oh,
long.
go ahead.
Okay, this is off the record. It's called The Beauty of You.
All right.
Okay, Cookie.
Thanks.
I just wanted to live a quiet life keep my head down, come home every night. But that's all gone to hell. All my good plans fell through since I stumbled on the beauty of you. You won't let this chance slip away, just to keep those demons at bay. And you'll gamble on a glimpse of a heart that is true. Baby, that's the beauty of you. Like our work is cut out. You're everything that I dream about. Oh, you just get better like wine. We should make the most of our time, and I know that you want the same things I do. Baby, that's the beauty of you. Baby, that's the beauty of you.
The Beauty of You, Bob Kennedy. Brenda, he wrote that for you. It's just a romantic island.
Oh, yes,
isn't
definitely.
it? Listen, you're playing an acoustic bass. I always wanted one of those.
That's great, actually, yeah.
Look at that.
It's really great.
I always wanted one of those, and I never got round to it.
You got me it for Christmas, actually.
Did you? Oh, would you get me one for Christmas? Bob, you mentioned that during that song, you mentioned the word quiet, and I couldn't help thinking, in your quiet way, a quieter way, you're probably, I think you're probably the most accomplished and respected songwriter that ever came out of Northern Ireland, and, you know, it's just amazing what you've done.
Thank you very much, Gerry.
But you're not a man who kind of leaps into the limelight. Mm-hmm. And you've been a bit quieter of late. Your lifestyle has changed, isn't it?
It's changed a lot. I mean, the last couple of years, I've given up the wild side of things, you know. Not completely.
How wild were you?
Well, I just was on the road all the time, and you know, away from back in Anna Georgia days, we were like just serious. It was a serious, hard living, you know.
Bit of sherbet every
a
now
lot
and again.
A lot of everything, you know, and that went on for quite a long time. And a couple of years ago, as I said, I was going on the road, and if you do a gig, you know, every night for you is a Saturday night. And people are going out for one night and having a good time. But you're doing it every night, night after night. And you come home.
Great, isn't it?
You come home in an envelope.
Well, it's not a mark on you. You see, one of the things that I've noticed, you see a lot of people who live virtuous lives and they look shite, you know, basically. And you've lived a very hard life and you look great.
Thanks very
much. There's a mark on you. Well, why is this? You people like Eric Clapton, people like that, they all look great.
I know.
It's the thing is you have to know when to stop, don't you?
Exactly. You run out of your tickets and then that's it.
So you've only a certain amount of tickets in your back
pocket. A certain amount of vouchers, and once you've run out, you have to stop. That's it. It's over.
And you're living here now, aren't you?
I'm living up in Hollywood, up by the sea. And,
do you ever miss in London, that kind of thing?
No, really don't. Don't miss it at all.
What about you, Brandon? Do you like living? Well, where are you originally from, Brandon?
I'm originally from North Belfast, but I've
Uh-huh.
been in Hollywood now for about 25 years.
Uh-huh.
So I love it. So I've converted him.
Well, the album is great. It's called The Sailor's Revenge, and you're doing a gig coming up in the 23rd.
We're doing the Empire on the 23rd, Thursday the 23rd, and that's part of the Belfast Nashville Festival. And I'll be doing full band at the Empire, so it'll be really good.
Can people get tickets for that now? Can they?
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's Thursday the 23rd of February. I would say that'd be a great night.
Also, I'm doing an in-store at HMV on the 30th of January.
All right.
So if people want to come down, it's lunchtime. I'll be there on stage.
HMV?
From 1 o'clock until about 1:30, I think.
What day is
1
that?
to 1:30.
30th? What day is that?
It's a Monday.
It's a Monday, yeah.
Monday lunchtime, 30th of January.
It's the day of the release.
It's the day of the release of the record. That's why I'm doing it. I knew there was a reason.
Shall we chat about that again later? Will you do another wee song for
Certainly.
us?
Okay.
Sounds really nice.
Thank you.
Really
We're just kind of easing into the
No,
day
no,
here,
no, that's
you know?
what you want. That's what you want.
All right, this one is off the album as well, and it's called Lonely No More.
Okay.
I am the captain of my soul. I must leave this place, call my home. When I finally walk out this door, I will be lonely no more. There must be a better life somewhere. Another night alone is hard to bear. But in my dreams I see her on the shore. And I will be lonely no more. I am inclined to believe I have wasted my time. We all make mistakes, but I hope yours are better than mine. I want to believe love's the only thing worth waiting for. And I will be lonely no more.
Lovely. I mentioned earlier on that you're a very respected songwriter. Amongst your fans are obviously Mark Knopfler and Steve Harrell. Now there's a man who's been through a time or two, isn't he?
Indeed.
And he pulled himself together. No, I'm not saying that you pulled yourself together. Maybe you did though. Maybe you did.
Well,
but he pulled himself together, and he's now kind of a normal person, isn't he?
Well, he's exactly the same, to be honest. Exactly the same as he was when he was, when he was a heroin addict, when he was an alcoholic. But he's exactly the same person. He's still fantastic.
Oh, he's such a. I mean, for people like that to be fans, that's not bad, is it? And you've done all kinds of things. You've had songs in movies.
Yep.
Tell me about that.
Well, that's the thing. When you make a record, you don't know where it's going to end up. And I've had songs in a couple of things, and somebody sitting, for example, a film producer sitting in a coffee shop in LA, and one of my songs comes on, and he goes, and he's sitting thinking about his film, and next thing you know, one of my songs is in that movie Serendipity, for example.
That's right.
That's the way it works. If you make records, you don't know where they're going to end up. Mark Knopfler hears it, or somebody hears it.
I know.
That's what happens.
That's right.
You put them out, throw them out the door and off they go.
That's what I say about people being on the radio. You know, people coming in and singing. They say, "Oh, sure, maybe nobody's going to hear you." And I always say to them, "Well, you know, you might be sitting there singing, and some guy will get off a plane in Belfast International Airport, maybe come in to check venues for MTV. Some record producer needs to get in a taxi in from the airport, and the taxi driver's playing the program on it, and he goes, 'Hey, who is that?'"
Mm-hmm.
That's how it
That's
happens. Here's a man accused me of lying. Anderson, you never played Bob Kennedy, so don't tell lies. This is untrue. I have played your records. Gerry, Bap's barking mad mate Louis is on the beach at Cultra and would love to hear Bap singing "Please Return to Jesus." That's from Louis W. I take it you know who that is.
I do indeed, aye.
Jerry's getting worried about you. Think you need a wee tonic. Anyway, will you do a wee one for us?
Okay.
Maybe it's time for a
do
couple.
that very song, actually. Do that very song. We can find it where you are. Let me see. Are we ready, folks? I've lived many lives. I've heard of many gods, but I just don't know if there's anyone at all. But to be on the safe side, when I've had my final day, I have left instructions to help me on my way. Just above my heart, there's a small tattoo. Please return to Jesus. Thank you. I know I'm a sinner, and I've been unkind, but if I had the power, I would heal the blind. Just above my heart, there's a small tattoo. Please return to Jesus. Thank you. If miracles came easy, healing's all I do. And if I had to choose a God, I'd probably choose you. Just above my heart, there's a small tattoo. Please return to Jesus. Thank you. Please return to Jesus. Thank you.
Please Return to Jesus. That's from your album as well.
That's right, an album from the album.
And the album is called Sailor's Revenge, and it's not out until the 30th of January, is that right?
That's right, but you can pre-order it.
Do you have a website?
Yeah, I've got a Facebook.
Yes.
Go to the Facebook and at Bob Kennedy, and you'll get onto the website and all the other things.
Okay, and you're appearing in the HMV on that day, on the day of the launch of the album, 30th of January. At what time did you say it was again?
I'll be there. We'll be playing from 1 o'clock.
All right, 1 p.m. And also, you're appearing in the Empire Music Hall on Thursday, the 23rd of February.
That's right.
Well, it's a great album, isn't it? Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And I think it's going to be really big for you, and I hope it will. Gordy, what is your name?
Gordon McAllister.
I've got Gordy here.
Gordon McAllister.
Lovely bit of guitar there. Listen, thank you very much. It's a nice guitar you have. What is it?
That's the Taylor.
And you see, what have you got there?
I've got an Avalon.
Ah, they're great. And this is the one I want.
This is a big, enormous one, isn't it?
Fantastic. I love that guitar.
Me and Gordy had to carry it.
It's good fun to play.
Oh, brilliant. Listen, Pat, thank you very much for coming in. It's a pleasure to have such talent in here. And
Thanks very much for having us.
Will you do another one for us before you go?
Okay, I'd like to do something from Domestic Blues, because you were talking about Steve Earle. It's actually called Domestic Blues, this song.
Okay.
And as you just mentioned, Gordy's a fantastic guitar player.
Yes,
and here, let's do some more blues then, Gordy. Eh? Right.
But that, go near that mic, Gordy, actually, because I thought the last time you were just a wee bit faint. If you could just shuffle yourself up just a wee bit, do we hear you? All right, okay.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know how to hurt me, baby. Oh yes, you do. You know how to hurt me, baby. Oh yes, you do. I've got to get out of this house before I hurt you. I've got my guitar in my hand and I'm walking out that door. I've got my guitar in my hand and I'm walking out that door. Well, I don't know where I'm going, I just know I have to go. I don't need no company, I wanna be alone. I don't need no company, I wanna be on my own. And I feel just like a child who doesn't have a home. You know how to hurt me, baby, oh yes you do. You know how to hurt me, baby, oh yes you do. I've got to get out of this house before I hurt you. You know how to hurt me, baby, oh yes you do. You know how to hurt me, baby, oh yes you do. On Silvertown Way, the queens stand high, quiet and grey against the still of the sky. They won't quit and lay down, though the action has died. They watch the new game in town on the Blackwall side. From their poisonous dreams, a vision appears. A new circle of cranes, a new reason to be here. A big silver dome rising up into the dawn. Above the church and the homes where all the silver is gone, gone, gone. If I had a bucket of gold, what would I do? Leave the story untold. Silver Town, going down in Silver Town, down in Silver Town, going down in Silver Town, down in Silver Town. A silver dawn steals over the docks. A truck with no wheels up on cinder blocks. Men with no dreams around fire in a drum. Scarlet metal schemes are rusted over and done. If I had a bucket of gold, silver would do. Leave the story untold. Silver Town, and I'm going down Silver Town, down in Silver Town. I'm going down in Silver Town, down in Silver Town. When you started on thin, dangerous ice, you can knock and walk in, for citizens advice. Tell you where you can turn, or where you can go. There's nothing they can tell me I don't already know. If I had a bucket of gold, silver would do. Leave the story untold. Silver Town, and I'm going down Silver Town, down in Silver Town. I'm going down in Silver Town, down in Silver Town. On the Cannon Town train, I saw a billboard high. There's a big silver plane rising up into the sky. I can make out the words, 7 flights every day. Said 6 of those birds are bound for JFK. Had a bucket of gold, silver would do. Leave the story untold. Silver Town, yes, I'm going down in Silver Town, down in Silver Town. I'm going down in Silver Town, down in Silver Town, going down in Silver Town, down in Silver Town, going down in Silver Town, down in Silver Town. Down in Silver Town, down in Silver Town, down in Silver Town.
That's Silvertown. That's Mark Knopfler, of course, produced Bob Kennedy's album and appeared on it as well. And Bob Kennedy, a lot of people enjoyed him. And he was great. His new album's called Sailor's Revenge. And also enjoyed Morgan McIntyre. We've been spoiled for choice today. A gentleman writes to me and he says, please read this poetry. It's nonsense poetry, but the best kind. It's called The Obvious Solution. Myrtle Bruce had a wee fat goose who played a mean guitar. If Myrtle Bruce hadn't ate the goose, it could have been a star. Dora Potts painted wee blue dots on her husband's derriere. When she joined the dots, Dora Potts saw the image of a bear. Too late, too late. I'll eat my fate, said a codger with a frown, as he stood there on the pavement, unable to to get down. When I'm dead, said Uncle Fred, bury me near blue water. Shut up your hash, you'll burn to ash, said sweet Pauline, his daughter. Crazy Jade sipped lemonade at the bottom of a well. When people lowered their buckets in, she would quote from William Tell. An old-age pensioner once said to me, I'm old and worn and grey. Using bat guano from Fermanagh, I spiked her Earl Grey tea. Undone, undone, cried firstborn son to Father Charlie Chan. Charlie poured fried lice over tender mice, firstborn son, now grand. Hard-heared Dan boiled his gran in a vat of H2O. They found her ear, a thumb, a nose, but they never found her toe. Repent, repent, cried a man at Lent. But God was not amused, so he hired a clown from out of town to trample him with his shoes. The Northern Lights have seen strange sights, said Deirdre's dear old man. Near Kilimanjaro she is chilled to the marrow by a giant abominable man. Good luck, said Mallard Duck to her husband Lapland bound. Always keep your pecker up and your ass from off the ground. And then that bombshell, he was Brian Kennedy to sing a song or two.
And lesser poverties. I was born to privilege that I did not see, like a pigment in my skin, wanna free and easy. I didn't know it, but my way was paid. I grew up a Catholic boy in a northeastern state, a place when asked where you from, some people tend to hesitate, reply a little bit late, as if maybe you didn't rate. I was born to ignorance and privilege. My dad ran a printing press, a tag and label factory. May have seen it as a child, now a distant memory, almost too faint to see. Dark red brick factory. Didn't know it, but my way was paid. We moved from a city street shortly after I arrived to a house on a gravel road where I learned to be alive. Crawl, walk, run, and ride. That's where I learned to come alive. Didn't know it, but my way was paid. If the wind is at your back and you never turn around, you may never know the wind is there. You may never hear the sound. Work at home and dream at night, even be a college fool like I had any right. Never went through a war, never Great Depression poor. Didn't know it, but my way was paid. Nose to the grindstone, shoulder to the wheel, back against the wall, maybe you know how it feels. If the wind is at your back and you never turn around, you may never know the wind is there. You may never hear the sound. I was born to ignorance, yes, and lesser poverties. I was born to privilege that I I did not see, like a pegged mountain by skin, one a free and easy. Didn't know it, but my way was paid, 'cause I was born to ignorance and privilege.
That's a great song by somebody you probably never heard of. I hadn't heard him for a long time. His name is John Gorka, and that track is called Ignorance and Privilege. Some messages here before we go. What was the name of that album you played with Mark Knopfler? Well, apart from Bob Kennedy's album, which is The Sailor's Revenge, which Mark Knopfler produced and appeared on, I also played a couple of tracks from Mark Knopfler's album, which was called Sailing to Philadelphia. The title track, he sings that along with James Taylor. Gerry, thank you and Bob for brightening up a draining Friday morning at work. Saw the recession, the scandal, the bad news. You should play music like this every day instead of the music that you talk and play. Gerry, Bob was a class singer. I heard him a few times. When is he coming to Coal Island? Well, that's one of the great unanswerable questions. Well done, Bob Kennedy, on your new album. You were a great supporter of Fila FM from Rosemary and Stevie. Yes, indeed. Gerry, I was blown away by that music. Bob was great, and those boys are brilliant. Yes, they were. Also, can you welcome my daughter, Maggie Devlin, who's just touched down in Dublin on her way home from Korea? Well, there you go. That's from her dad, James, and Mum, Noreen. Michelle writes to me, and she said, last night my husband and I went to Tesco. Sounds like a big night. We bumped into a man with whom my husband worked over 20 years ago. The man had a big smile on his face as he spoke to my husband, and he said, are you working away, boy? My husband said, aye. This man said, because I've got a job for you any time you want it. He then proceeded to ridicule the young fellows who work under him, saying they hadn't a clue what they were doing. My husband didn't reply to his offer. He politely refrained from saying, I'm fine where I am, thanks. Until I interrupted, the man hadn't looked at me yet, never noticed me, and I don't think he ever intended to. But he had no choice when I asked, are these HGV drivers you're talking about? The man replied, not at all, only van drivers. My husband looked at me and said, why are you interested? You wouldn't believe how quickly... sorry, I lost my place. You couldn't believe how quickly the smile faded from his face. He nervously asked me, do you have any multi-drop experience? I replied, no, but I have driven a Renault Espace and a Ford Multipla. They're high up like vans, and I even know how to get in and out of them without falling. Plus, I know how to go up to people with a package and say, can you sign for this? I'll put all that in my CV and send it for you if you like. The man couldn't get away from me quick enough. I'm not being paranoid. My husband noticed his reaction too. What a... She uses a word that we don't use here in Radio Ulster. This is our last track today. It's called So Wonderful by Undercover. I'll be back on Monday. Have a nice weekend. I'd like to thank Morgan McIntyre, who was just wonderful, and Bob Kennedy, who was better.
Felt you